And we are live. How's it going, everyone? Today I think I'm gonna go back to practicing on the fixed blade knife. I'm gonna maybe start over and do it a little more correctly, slowly, step by step, so people can follow along a little bit. Um, First, I wanted to say, if you don't have CAD and you want to try it, until next Tuesday, you can get SolidWorks for makers for $24 a year with this code, Summer50. I don't make anything from it. I'm just sharing this, help people out. If you want to try it, it's worth trying. These two versions. This one is all cloud based, so your PC doesn't have to be as powerful. It's all through the browser. Um, and Chromebooks, Macs, tablets, Windows. You can do it on a PC if you just want to go through the cloud, and it's all cloud based. I think you store all your parts in the cloud and everything else. Now this one is PC installed, so it's locally installed. You still have cloud storage, but you can store in the cloud and local, or one or the other if you choose. Uh, This doesn't include AI guidance and design assistance. So even if you have a PC that's powerful enough, you might want to try the cloud based. I don't know. But both of them include some communities that you can go to. I haven't really checked them out too much. Yeah, Fookdoozle, I definitely remember those days. Fookdoozle says, remember the old days when you could buy software instead of subscribe to it? For sure. And you can buy this software, but there's a sale right now. It's only $12,999. So the maker's version is different from the big version that you would buy a seat of, in that it's the basic 3D tools, some cam, if you get this version, the PC version. Just different options. So go through this. Like I said, if you just want to try it, you don't have any or you have little CAD experience, regular price is $48 a year. For $24 a year, it's worth it. And also, I think you can download a trial. But I say buy a year. That way, if you get a trial and you just try it a couple times and things don't work out, you might just say, heck, I don't like this, and never go back to it. But if you have it for, a year, you might come across something while you're watching some YouTube video and say, oh, let me go back and try this again, and find that you like it. But right here is free trial. I'm not sure. Test drive, blah, blah, blah. Now, this free trial includes more than the maker's version. This simulation and all that, you can do um, better analysis on your parts. I mean, if you want to, look at that. You got tubing routing and stuff, which isn't included in the maker's version. It's a lot more powerful, but so don't get in, don't try something that's too crazy. I do some simple models. There's a lot of good tutorials on YouTube to help you. Here's just the 2D if you wanted to try a 2D CAD program. Oh, it actually has 3D modeling in it. But draft site, I'm not familiar with it. Anyway, I just wanted to show those. The sale ends next Tuesday, the 22nd. So up until then, you can get it for $24 a year. So what we are going to do, so you can set up radiators and make a water-cooled knife. Exactly. And you can put electric LEDs on it, put a wire harness on there. You could maybe have it activate the LEDs upon opening so you can see what you're poking. We are going to go back to the fixed blade knife. I'm going to delete some of the progress I made on this. So what we're going to do is, I like this profile. The blade is shorter than the handle. A lot of people don't like that. They want a balance. I don't want balance. I want my hand to fit here, and I want a short, easily controllable tip of the blade. So this is my idea. You don't have to like it. I'm sure some will, some won't. And I don't know if I'll ever actually make a knife or not, actually produce one of these, but you never know. I might. So what we're going to do is go back to the main extrusion, edit the original sketch. Oh, no, we're going to leave that sketch alone. Where is, the cut extrusion. So this is the sketch that I want to edit. I could have done this all in one sketch, I believe, but what I'm going to do here is get rid of all of this. It probably made some of the functions bad that were in there. And I'm going to start over. And what I want to do is an offset of this shape. No. Do an offset, select chain. We're going to offset it like 3 millimeters maybe. I haven't looked into what construction geometry really does in this software. I heard Luke talking about it. So there might be a time when I do want to use that. But for now, I'm just creating the sketch lines. So there I have better. Previously, I just drew lines and put my own curvature on there. This follows the actual curvature of the blade. So put let me do that over again. Forgot to hit the check mark. Once you're done with a command, you have to hit the check mark. Oops. Let's undo all this and start over again. The nice thing about CAD in general, compared to the drafting days, is it's a lot easier to just start over. So I'm going to save those, so I got to hit the check mark to save them. I want to draw a line somewhere about here. Finish that line. Then we will trim, corner trim, this line and this line, this line and this line. So now I have a nice consistent gap for the skeletonization. I probably could go further forward, but I'm going to make sure the scales can, leave some room for different shaping of the scales. Now I want to put some what do we want to do here? Let's put some triangulation in here. Don't really need it. Could probably just put a couple flat straight across shapes, but maybe we'll do that. Well, here's what we'll do. Let's put a line. Oops. Make this ½ inch, roughly. Reverse it. Do another trim here. I think I need to do a trim away inside. Pick this and trim this away. Now I trim too closest, so I'm going to trim. Nope. Not sure. I don't know what a power trim is, but let's trim this to this. Yeah, that's not what we want. Oh, I guess I just can stretch this down is what I need to do. Those aren't locked in, but those are pads where I'm going to put the grip screw holes. And I'm not sure. I can look at it later and see if they need to move or not. So now we can do a corner trim. Trim away inside from here to here. Hey Kelly's Mishmash, how you doing? Trim away here. And do a corner trim. There. Now, if I move this, what happens? Okay, so it still remembers that original sketch. I probably want this over here a little bit further. Now I need to lock those in. I don't need to, but we will. It turns black when it's fully constrained. It's just that this dimension was on there when I constrained this by dimension, then it locked this in. Now this one I can still move. I'm still in there. I can move these lines. I'm still in the dimension function, that's why it's not moving them. So let's make this a smart dimension from here to here. Make it 45 millimeters. Now everything's locked in except this line. So if I can still make this bigger or smaller. So let me think here. If this were skeletonized and didn't have a handle on it, would that interfere with your grip? No, not really. So we can put a dimension on here. So this is fully constrained. Let's make that 15. I like to use even numbers, even it doesn't really matter, but it's like maybe a teeny tiny bit OCD. So there we have that. These are small enough. I'm not going to cross brace these, but I think I might put an X or a triangle in here. So now would I want to go? No, let's offset that 3 millimeters. See what happens. And if we make that 90, no, we don't want that. Put another dimension on here. Let's make this 6. And do some corner trims. Do an inside trim. Do another inside trim. Let's escape out of that. And before we do this, I'm not making this exact, but I want to get roughly the same gap. Trim away inside here. And do some corner trims. Put a dimension on here just to constrain it. See what happens if we make that 1.75. That doesn't constrain it. Might not be able to have all. Oh, now it's fully constrained. Portland. How am I doing? I am doing well. Hope everyone else is doing great too. Tactical combat sport. Why you need someone else design that for? Design it yourself. Send me some sketches. We'll model it up. So let's exit this sketch. Fill it too. Got rid of an edge. So now we have something I'm a little happier with. It's not as artistic, but we have a consistent 3mm of material left here. I might need more down here now that I think about it. Well, if the scale's going to the edge, that should be good. You could design a scale with a hole in for a lanyard if you really wanted one, but it's more of a utility knife than an everyday carry knife, in my opinion. I don't know. Those are my thoughts just with this shallow radius, mostly flat. Wanted the bottom of the blade to be a little, room for your fingers so you can chop on a cutting board or something if you wanted. Put jimping most of the way down in case you need to. What if I should put some kind of choil or something? I will leave this alone. So we'll go back in, add some fillets. Oh wait, the holes. Where are the holes? Let's edit those sketches. So that we can put smart dimensions on here. And that was 12, so we'll go with 6, just so it's centered. Those holes are centered. Now clearance holes, I still haven't talked to anyone about if I should have clearance holes or should I put some undersized holes for a press fit of the connectors. I think most of them aren't press fit. That way you could use like a two-sided connector, like a screw and a female, or just a connector and a screw on each side. But I'll look around. Actually, let's go take a look, see what we can find here. Let's go look at knife parts and see what we got. Knife kits, jets, knives. Is there a place called knife parts? Let's see what this USA knife maker has. Sex bolts. Keep your mind out of the gutter, Fook. Sliding lock bar. It's too fancy. Too fancy. This is for folding knives. Connectors. Yeah, this is just what I modeled up. Let's just put this in the center, and then you can put a screw on either side, but there might be better things. Be nice if those lashing screws that TCAL makes were more available. Those would be kind of neat to use. Let's see what these maker material supply. Oh, that looked like what I wanted. Let's go back to there. Yeah. Handle screws. Also bolts. 1/4 inch standard length. I think do we want something like this, or do we want like a flush mount type of? Doesn't matter. Good old school Phillips head. Yeah, this is what I was thinking of. Something more like that. With a connector in the middle. Three-eighths, 5/16, 1/4 inch. I guess I'll have to model up the scales and see what size I would want to go with. Sex bolts. You missed the sex bolts. Gonna have to censor that out of the video. Just kidding, YouTube. Handle fasteners. 5/16 or 3/8. Have no clue. Stainless with black QPQ finish. Whatever that is. 5/16 head, 3/16 barrel diameter. A little less than a 1/2 inch length. 0.1 over T20. T20 sounds good. Was that other one T20? The 3/8? T25. What do you think? T20 or T25? I think you do want to know what a 6 bolt is. Let's ask Google AI. A 6 bolt, also known as a Chicago bolt or barrel nut, is a type of fastener that consists of a mated pair, a female threaded barrel, and a male screw. I think what we're looking at is 6 bolts. Even though it says golso, maybe that's some, you know, Greek word for sex. I don't know. In all seriousness, I think T25, I think people would more would have more availability to a T20 unless we find even smaller ones. Yeah, I think T20 is the way to go. So I'm going to save this page. And I'll model these up for next time. For now, we'll go in here and go in here and add some fillets to all these sharp corners. Actually, let's cancel out of this. I think there already was. There's that fillet. That fillet. Okay, we'll add a new fillet function just for these. Don't have to, but it's cleaner looking. And since if I did build these, they would be cut with a water jet. It's not any extra machining or anything other than the water jet cut. And I don't think the water jet cares if it's going around a corner or a radius. But if anyone knows any tips or tricks to this, please share, make a comment on the video. If you think I'm an idiot, go ahead, put that in the comments. But hit like and subscribe first. We'll do those. We'll leave the outside separate in a separate function. Let's do these and make it 1.5 millimeter radius. See what it looks like. That's pretty good. A bigger radius would, make rounder holes, which might artistically look better, but the smaller ones take away more material. Would make this a little more balanced. I'm thinking G10 or something for scales or micarta. So skeletonizing this, but then you're going to add some hardware in micarta. So it should be fairly balanced, especially with the longer handle and a shorter blade. I think I would actually like to make this, but I probably won't. Let's go into this fillet. No. This fillet. What size is that fillet? 5. Might be too much for these, but we'll see. I think that's all right. Maybe I want to make this 5. No, that actually doesn't look too bad. Let's go to the measure tool. See if I can figure out how to get a measurement from here to here. .74. Yeah. Let's go back to this fillet. I think I can hold control and get rid of this one. Control select. Get rid of that one. I'll measure that one afterwards. Then I'll add this. No, that's not the way to go. We'll create another fillet. We'll make it somewhere in between. Let's do a 4 and see what happens. Let's do a 3.5 and see what happens. Let's do a 3 3/4 and see what happens. If I were smarter, I would calculate what it needs to be. This is not going well. Do I want to go under? Is that what the problem is? 3. I don't think so. I think maybe we'll leave it 3. Because the water jet doesn't care. Thank you. I love the look of it too. Just because I did it and it's different and it's different. That's all. Plus, I think I could have this cut out. I could have someone put grinds on it or buy a grinder and grind it myself. Or I have some hand files, so I could probably have this water jet cut and hand file this into a knife shape. Probably won't look as good as the model, but it would be fun. Be a fun project. I don't know if I need to add some jimping up here or not. What are your thoughts? Thanks, Drew Dude. Yeah, this is definitely a clip point. The point is a lot lower than the center line. I think a completely flat version of this would be cool too. But I like this with a little bit, just a small radius. I think I would use this knife. I would actually use this. I would actually EDC it too. But a lot of people don't want a big handle. They want a shorter handle for EDC. But let's see. Let's take a look at the overall dimensions just for the fun of it. If I can figure out a way to get good dimensions. Go from that point to this point. 189.95. What is that? About 7.5 inches. Almost 7.5 inches. So roughly 115 millimeters of that. So 4.5 inch all the way up to there. So just a little over 4, like 4.25 inch for the handle length. The micarta or whatever will be somewhere in here. And I don't know what shape to put on it yet. I kind of like the ones that are have a little bit of taper close, come out, just a little bit of taper for your finger to fit in, and then a little bit of a swell, then another taper back at the end. So it's like kind of just like this, but not as, obtrusive on this profile, but just a little bit of a swell. Just so it's not flat. Flat would work too. It'd be a lot less grinding and machining. But I want a little bit of, comfort in the grip. I think the screw won't interfere with your thumb or anything back here. I'm not sure. Wonder what people's thoughts are on the locations of those. Not sure it matters. But I mean, this could be the knife without any scales on it and just the skeletonized, the skeletonized version. Add scales later. You love the jimping. I don't know. I just put this jimping in there. I don't know what jimping to put. This might be a little rough if I don't radius the edges. But some of us like it rough. I can't believe I said that. But I could do something fancy too, but especially if I have the water jet cut out the jimping. We can do whatever we want, like some weird wave pattern or something. But this is simple, and I made the radius the same distance. The flats are the same distance as the semicircles. We could actually take a look at that sketch. Turn off the measurement. Let's put a dimension on this. There's a little better. Might want to go back a little further. Where's the pattern? One, 2, 3, 4. I mean, technically, we could just go the whole length if we wanted to. What would you think about stomping the jimping a tiny bit further back and adding a small notch for a fire starter? I don't know. You think this would actually be a decent camp knife? It's only 7.5 inches. I'm not opposed to the idea. Like those Phobos knives that Bushcraft has. That's a definitely neat feature. It wouldn't hurt to have it, I guess. Just that one big jump. I love practicality too. I mean, we could even put a bottle opener back here if we want. But yeah, I guess make it as useful as possible. I mean, let me think here. Would there be anything wrong with? Yeah, I guess we wouldn't want to put the fire starter here. That'd be too close to the micarta if you go with micarta. What do you think? Yeah, I heard that never use bottle openers story before. And I rarely do, but I stopped at a store and bought one of those. It was like a ginger beer or something, non-alcoholic. You know how the novelty soda comes in the pop caps. Yeah, I think like maybe even the middle of this jimping, or is that too far forward? Since this is short and has a long handle, you'd still have pretty good control, even if you went even further. So let's try this. Let's do this pattern. To here. Let's do this. What if you can copy? Let's go back to the sketch. start it there. I can add more up here on the other side of it once we put it there. Yeah. Exit that sketch. Do you know what diameter most ferro rods are? Is there a common, a standard? Fuke. Should be round or kind of like football, have football shape. We just do. I don't know if I'm going to get into. I might have to change my bevel a little bit. Let's not do that. Let's do an ellipse. I don't know how you define them. And that's not the way I wanted to go. Let's do an ellipse. Let's put a dimension here. Nope. Oh, we patterned the sketch. How's it going, YouTube Music Portal? Hey, Gonzo. Good to see you. You can watch me mess this thing up. Let's undo this. Let's delete this. What we're doing right now is adding we're going to put a little ferro rod notch in here for a fire starter. Try to make this a little more useful. Actually, I'm going to change this pattern again. Add about 12, 13. That's good enough. But I am going to have to do a new sketch on here. An ellipse. Go here. We'll have to adjust this for size. If anyone knows the diameter of ferro rods, let me know. But we can always modify that later. It's probably definitely bigger than that. Let's go back to that sketch. We could go. If you're going to buy one, where would you buy one? Yeah, I'm wondering what the biggest ones are compared to the smallest ones, or vice versa. Half inch. Half inch is probably pretty standard, I would think. A little over half inch. Yeah. Was that this? No. 5/16. That's too small. So let's just go with yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of some. No relations. What's going on here? Might have to change the shape of the blade if we want to do this. Yeah. Support our friends. EDC round table. Did someone come in here that I missed? Oh, is Brian F. part of that? Does Brian F. sell stuff? Is he EDC Roundtable? Is he part of that? Oh, thanks. What do you think, Fook? Do you think it matters that it goes into the bevel since this is so thick up here? You think I should bring this down and make the bevel shorter or leave it? Kind of want to leave these edges kind of sharp. I'd round these off, of course. But these would stay sharp. Oh, we've got to move this. So the order of operations matters. So I can't add this fillet to this if this is after the fillet. So I had to move it to in front of the fillet, this operation. Just want to add these to the same fillet. Bit more shallow. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I guess just so it's more contact than a flat. We don't want it too shallow though. I mean, anything is better than just flat, right? Maybe a little more than that. I'll revisit it, get some opinions. I like the idea though. If that would make one more person buy it, it's a good feature to have. If it'll make a whole bunch of people not buy it, it's not a good feature to have. So I can add some of the jimping in front of that also. That would actually work. I'd probably make it a little shorter. But I mean, you could actually, I don't know, put your finger in there for a pinch grip if you want to do some detail work with the tip. But probably be better to have a couple more jumps on here, up here and up here. I don't know. I actually didn't like it, but I'm starting to think I might. I don't know. We'll take a poll. If we'll give the people what they want. If they want it gone, it's gone. Let's make this just a 1/2 inch. Since it's shallow, and the radius is, you would still work on something slightly over 1/2 inch. Actually, let's make it slightly over 1/2 inch. We'd have to try it and see how it works. So it's been an hour. Probably going to get off here. I don't think until you're monetized, I don't think you can forward people to other shows if you're not monetized. Let's take a quick look. See who. Oh, there's TKE. This is a special audio just for TKE. Scroll wheel. You like that? I don't see anyone live right now. At least no one that I'm subscribed to. Said Stevie will be on around after midnight. Ron Crow in a couple days. Gareth, looks like he has his first live on the 20th at 9:30 a.m. Pacific. So 12:30 p.m. Eastern. I would be showing them, but I don't want to show my YouTube. I'm logged in. I don't want you to see all the naked yoga. Actually, I just have guitar, some lawn crime, court stuff. Loot stream 16 hours ago. Anyway, make sure you hit like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. If you're going to go walk your dogs, go to one of my playlists and hit play and let it autoplay. Give me some hours just for the fun of it. And I hope everyone has a good evening. And I'm sure I'll see you all. Neil is going to do a vertical later. If I want to go, well, you don't even have to ask that. That's not a question. How's it going, Paul Mills? We got Kenman and DBD. Yeah, they're all coming on. I think 2 hours, right, for EDC with DBD at 8 p.m. Eastern. When are you having your live, Neil? Is it set up yet? You like my voice. Everyone likes it. If you have it set up, I could grab the link and post it in here. Did I close my window? Yeah, I know later tonight, but it's only 3 p.m. on the West Coast, so it's 6 p.m. on your coast. What's later tonight mean? 7, 8, 9? Of course you're not a mod. That would be crazy. Post a link to your channel at least, and everyone can go over there and subscribe if they aren't. I think all of these guys are. I think we're all subscribed, but we just don't all like going there. Just kidding. But you're mod now, so you can post a link. But I'm going to go ahead and log out. Thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. If you have any comments, concerns, advice, you want to tell me how I did wrong, go ahead and post those in the comments. Like I said, until next Tuesday, you can get SolidWorks for makers for $24 a year. I put a link in the description. I put a link for the space mouse that I use so I can do this fancy spinning around, moving my mouse, clicking the mouse for Neil, all at the same time. Take care. And I'll catch you on the next stream, probably Neil's. Well, the people that dare go there, of course. I hope everyone has a good night.